Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're doing something a little different. We're going to connect the dots between a giant of German philosophy and the absolute master of cosmic horror, all by digging into one really cool academic essay.
I mean, on one hand, you've got Friedrich Nietzsche, the guy who talked about the Superman. On the other, you've got H.P. Lovecraft, the creator of Cthulhu. They seem like they're from different planets, right? But what if I told you they were both wrestling with the exact same massive questions? Questions about art, about reality, and about where we fit in a universe that might not have a god.
So where do we even start? Well, our story kicks off in a pretty unexpected place, with something they both deeply, fundamentally agreed on: the whole point of art itself. See, for both of these guys, art wasn't just, a nice hobby or something pretty to hang on the wall. They saw it as a crucial tool, maybe the only tool we really have to face the biggest, scariest truths about being alive. It's not about running away from reality, it's about digging into it.
Okay, so to really get Nietzsche's whole deal, we have to understand these two primal forces he said were always at war inside of us, shaping pretty much everything we create.
First up, you've got what he called the Apollonian. And yeah, it's named after Apollo, the Greek god of reason and light. Think of this as the architect in your brain. It's the part of you that loves order, logic, and clean lines. It's the drive that creates beautiful, structured dreams while you sleep. And then, in the other corner, you have the Dionysian, named for the god of wine and, well, chaos. This is the total opposite. It's that wild, primal feeling that wants to tear down all the walls, lose yourself in the music, and just merge with the raw, chaotic energy of life.
Now, here's Nietzsche's big idea. He said the best art doesn't pick a side. Nope. The greatest stuff, like the ancient Greek tragedies, is born in the friction between these two forces. It's the tension, the struggle, that creates something truly powerful.
All right, framework in place. Now let's grab H.P. Lovecraft and see if this theory actually holds up. We'll start with the Apollonian side of things, the world of dreams.
And boy, was Lovecraft obsessed with dreams. I mean, obsessed. To him, they weren't just weird movies your brain plays at night. He saw the dream world as a whole other reality, a place with its own secrets, and of course, its own horrors. He literally took notes on his nightmares to use in his stories.
This quote just nails it. This is pure Apollonian Lovecraft. He's saying that the structured, imagined worlds inside our heads are just as real and important as the waking world. That's a classic artist's move, according to Nietzsche.
But let's be real. Lovecraft isn't famous for neat, orderly dreams, is he? You can't talk about his work without diving headfirst into chaos. His stories are just dripping with that terrifying, overwhelming Dionysian power.
Yeah, he just didn't care about human drama, love stories, or any of that. What really got him going was the big, big picture. Us, tiny humans, up against the vast, crushing, unknowable universe. His whole thing was about shattering our sense of self-importance.
Let's look at a classic example from The Call of Cthulhu. There's this incredible scene where a police inspector stumbles onto something in the Louisiana swamps, something that is pure, uncut Dionysian madness. What he finds is a ritual that's a total bonfire of reason, of society, of the self. These cultists are just letting go completely, dissolving their own minds to become one with this monstrous, ancient power. It is the Dionysian drive cranked up to 11 and turned into a full-blown nightmare.
So far, it seems like a perfect fit, right? You've got the Apollonian dream worlds, the Dionysian chaos. Lovecraft is checking all of Nietzsche's boxes. But, and this is a huge but, this is where their paths split in a really, really dark way. You see, for Nietzsche, tearing away that veil of order and illusion, that was the whole point. It was an act of courage, of strength. You stare into the chaos and you affirm all of life, the good and the bad. But for Lovecraft, oh no, it was something else entirely.
And here it is, the horrifying twist. When Nietzsche's artist pulls back the curtain, they find this ecstatic, joyful connection to everything. When Lovecraft's characters pull back that same curtain, they find nothing. Just a cold, silent, empty universe that literally could not care less that we exist. Now, that philosophical difference has a huge effect on the art. Think about it. If we're just meaningless specks of dust, like Lovecraft thought, then can our suffering ever be truly tragic? Can it have that grand, noble feeling of a Greek hero's downfall?
A critic named Joseph Wood Crutch put this perfectly, and Lovecraft totally agreed with him. He basically said that true tragedy is for characters who matter in the grand scheme of things. In a universe that doesn't even notice you, your suffering isn't tragic, it's just sad. It's pathetic. You're not a fallen hero, you're just a bug getting squashed. So that's a pretty bleak picture, isn't it? If you truly believe that reality is just a meaningless cosmic horror show, how do you even function? What's Lovecraft's solution for just surviving?
Well, his answer isn't some new, grand, cosmic truth. It's actually way more practical and down to earth. He basically says, look, the universe isn't going to comfort you, so you'd better build your own shelter to hide in. And what are those shelters made of? Tradition, culture, the beautiful art and stories passed down to us. Not because they're the truth with a capital T, but because they give us a sense of order. They are our handmade, Apollonian shields against that big, scary Dionysian emptiness.
And that leaves us with one last fascinating thought. Maybe both Nietzsche and Lovecraft were right, that art really is the most important thing we do. But the real question is why? Is art a tool for bravely facing the abyss, like Nietzsche believed? Or is it our last defense? A beautifully crafted shield we hold up to protect ourselves from a truth that's just too terrifying to look at directly.